back at you. MS-13 is El Salvadorian and also Venezuela. Yeah, Trenderuaga is Venezuela. MS-13 is El Salvadorian. He signed declaration of invasions against both. But let me challenge you on this, because you're coming after this in good faith. Was the First Amendment written in the spirit of Facebook posts?
Can you clarify a little bit?
The First Amendment, part of the Bill of Rights, ratified in 1791, was it written in the spirit that it shall apply to tweets?
Not to private corporations.
Well, no, meaning like, do your free speech rights apply also to the internet?
So it applies to public squares. The question that we're having now is Facebook a public square? Are Twitter public squares?
It's a separate issue. The issue is that we would all agree that you have a First Amendment right to express yourself and the government can't throw you in prison regardless of where you have it. Whether you write a newspaper op-ed or whether you do a Facebook post, right? You have a First Amendment right to do that. The point being is you say, well, the spirit of the law in 1798, it doesn't matter if a law is old. It matters what moral claim is the law trying to make, because times sort of change, but people do not. Human nature goes unchanged. And so the point being is the Alien Enemies Act has been invoked 4 times in our nation's history. War of 1812, Civil War, World War I, World War II. And I believe totally appropriately invoked here. It's been enjoined by the Supreme Court right now, so we'll find out its future. But when you have 15 million people come into your country in a span of 4 years, that is definitionally an invasion.
I guess an invasion requires a certain commitment from a state, right? It's a big difference between an invasion and an immigration wave is whether there's a state operating.
Or a force. The cartels, man. The cartels operate like a state. The cartels are the reason that a lot of these people are able to make it up to the border. They pay money to the cartels. The cartels are using drones. They're using speedboats. They're using helicopters. The cartels act like a government. In fact, the cartels run the Mexican government. The Sinaloa drug cartel is more powerful than the Mexican Mexican government.
I would agree with labeling these terrorist organizations. I think they have the funding. They operate. They have such. But there's a key distinction between a government entity and a terrorist organization.
Hold on a second. We declared war on Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
What government was Al Qaeda?
We can declare war on terrorist organizations.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. So, if we signed the Alien Enemies Act against Al Qaeda, it would have been perfectly fair and appropriate, obviously. And Al Qaeda is not a government. What I'm saying though is that the cartels, the MS-13 and Trenderuaga, they are being supported by governments. They're harbored in governments. The Alien Enemies Act, of course, applies to them. These are enemies here on the mainland of America doing harm. And Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a member of MS-13. He was a wife beater, a child abuser, here illegally. He had a deportation notice on his head. And now he's back in his country of El Salvador. And we should be happy that he's home.
So I can grant you that he might be all these things. It does not mean that he doesn't get a day in court.
But as a non-U.S. citizen, though, the Alien Enemies Act allow us to expeditiously remove him. It's just the way it works. I mean,
no, you're right. But
and now that's not the case.
We can argue whether that was a correct invocation, right?
That's irrelevant. The Supreme Court has now said no more, so there will be no more. But in that specific case, nothing was done illegally. The only argument you might have is that the judge says you could deport him anywhere except El Salvador. So we probably should have just deported him to, I don't know, the Congo, and everyone would have been happier. Hilariously, they said, oh, he's in a foreign jail. No, he's not in a foreign jail. He's an El Salvadorian in his own country. He's not an American. If he would have went to Gitmo, that would have been a foreign jail.
Yeah. Okay. And then, let's see.
Thank
I
you.
think that's it for me. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Could I ask you for a red hat?
Yes,
signed?
absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Great question.
Charlie!
Yes, sir.
All right. Hi, Charlie. My name's Gabriel, and I'm a senior in high school. And I want to tell you this. I don't know much about this topic, so I'm here more to learn, but I also want to provide a point of view. So I wanted to speak about Trump's tariff policy. So since January 2025, Trump has had one of the worst presidential terms concerning the economy. And there are statistics to back this up. S&P has dropped 8%, Dow Jones has dropped 7%, the Russell has dropped 12%. The way I understand it, tariffs are a tax that are passed on to consumers. They impede upon the world free trade and increase the cost of imported goods. This not only has tanked our economy, but is actually putting small businesses across America out of work. Middle-class Americans that voted for Trump believing prices would drop are now having to close down their small business because they used to rely on outsourcing. Now, I understand that Trump's goal with this tariff policy is to bring back jobs to America. However, this is an unrealistic reality. Even though some corporations are moving production to the U.S. to avoid tariff, in reality, most would rather pass the cost on to consumers than financially pay billions of dollars in building new plants in America and paying higher wages. With all of this, I wanted to ask you if you could please defend Trump's tariff plan.
Sure. Great. First of all, the market's recovering, but you're right, it has gone down. The market is not necessarily a good indicator of the economy. We have an economy and then we have a market. Half of Americans don't own any stocks, just for the record.
Okay.
And that's a very important thing, right?
There's a lot of Americans that have money in stocks and are losing money every day.
Well, actually, okay, you're in high school, so I'm just going to be like super gentle. Like, the market's been up the last couple days, right? Markets go up, markets go down.
Okay.
The more important question, though, is what type of economy is going to survive the next 40 or 50 years? When we do not make our own vitamin C, we don't make our own antibiotics, we don't make our own drone parts, and it's all made in China, we should try to re-domicile it. It's tempting to blame this all on tariffs, but there's actually no tariffs that are in place right now. You know that, right?
There's still a 10% baseline tariff, and even though there's a 90-day pause, they're going to come back. That's the reality.
You know that better than I do, right? Yeah.
Well, I know that. That's a fact.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay.
There's a 90-day pause on tariffs.
So again, I'm trying to be super, like, you're in high school, it's fine. You know Trump's talking to South Korea and Japan and Vietnam.
Okay.
We're going to get massive deals with India, and we're going to fix the trade imbalances. And here's the core of it. Can we at least agree that Trump ran on the idea of tariffs?
He did.
And people voted for it?
Yes.
Should elected leaders do what people vote for them to do?
Yes, but I agree that he's doing what he said he would do. What I'm asking you is, how can you defend what he's doing? Because what would you say to the middle class American that has a small business that now has to shut down their business because they used to outsource to China and now they can't pay due to the high tariffs? That's my question.
They were outsourcing to China?
Well, even though some small businesses don't outsource, they get a lot of their production from big companies that do make their products foreign. And so now those prices are being jacked up and small businesses are running out of customers because they're having to pass the cost on to the consumer.
I see no evidence of that happening, and I believe, first of all...
what is the definition of a tariff?
Well, the tariff is a duty on an imported product. How do you avoid a tariff?
You move to the U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, hold on a second. Are most companies moving to the U.S.?
Actually, yes. You know there's over $6 trillion in investments announced in the last 2 weeks in the United States of America?
Yeah.
$6 trillion.
But what happens in the U.S.? You get higher wages. Where does that cost go? Businesses aren't going to just pay that cost. They pass that cost on to the consumers.
Toyota, Honda, Stellantis, NVIDIA did a $500 billion investment.
Yeah,
Oracle,
NVIDIA is down like
centers.
20% in the last 3 months.
Right, again, so I'm going to try to be very gentle with this. Stock prices are not always a reflection of reality. That is an inflection of investors' skittishness, right? Okay. So if NVIDIA is down 20%, they might have been hyperinflated a couple months ago. Yeah. Let me just kind of close with this. Do we both agree we should make more stuff in America?
I agree in certain cases, yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think with critical manufacturing, critical industry, we have massive trade imbalances with these countries. The president is going to actually say you have to buy more of our product, buy more of our liquefied natural gas. And I believe coupled with that small business that you talked about, they're about to receive the largest tax cut in American history. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, and a massive middle-class tax.
But if we can produce goods foreignly for less money, why are we moving it back to the U.S.? And my other point is...
Because less money is not the most important thing.
By moving it back to the U.S., what are you, making more factory jobs? We're moving into a time where tariffs are behind us. Factory jobs are behind us.
Wrong.
Soon AI is going to take over these factory jobs.
And this is where you're totally wrong, man. We have 11 million manufacturing jobs that we need to fill in the next 5 years that don't require college degrees. Advanced manufacturing jobs, highly precise. Who's going to build all the robots? Who's going to build the drones? There's insane amount of hardware infrastructure that needs to happen. Factory jobs are not behind us. In fact, we have more hardware needs now in 2025 than we even had in 1985. So thank you for your time. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Joe, and I don't know that much about you, I'm gonna be honest, but you're like this conservative like Trump supporter, dude? Okay. And you'd consider yourself a Christian? How do you consider yourself like a serious Christian if you support Trump after he raped Jean Carroll?
So you believe he raped her?
Yes.
Really, was he criminally indicted for that?
I believe he was.
No, he
guilty
wasn't.
For sexual abuse.
No, he wasn't. He was civilly found liable for slander in a slanted Manhattan jury. Tell me, what year was she raped?
Oh, I don't know.
She doesn't know either, actually, when she was asked.
The court found.
No, they did
that
not.
she was
A jury
guilty.
found him liable for smear and slander around this topic. Do you know that E. Jean Carroll said, quote, rape is sexy?
No.
She said that on air on the Anderson Cooper show. E. Jean Carroll says, do you know the facts surrounding the case?
A little bit.
Tell me.
No. No. All right. Okay.
Tell me.
Trump was, I don't know, indicted, found guilty for
wrong.
Sexual abuse over her because he fingered her unconsensually.
He was never ever indicted. He was never that. This was a civil case that was around her. This was around smear and slander and defamation. Again, according to E. Jean Carroll's recollection, she can't remember the year, but she says some afternoon Donald Trump took me into a Tiffany's store at the height of his power, at the height of his popularity, when he was on the front cover of Playboy magazine and decided to go rape E. Jean Carroll. Really, we're supposed to believe that?
I've seen pictures of Donald Trump and Epstein hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Ow!
Yeah, he kicked him out of the Mar-a-Lago club. What's the next point?
Because Epstein raped kids and
Yeah.
You have to kick him out if he rapes kids. Like, he can't have that personal. Like,
got it. So what's the contention?
I don't know. He raped kids. Trump
raped kids?
Yeah. Jean Carroll when she was 13.
She wasn't 13. The accusation was when in her late 20s, not when she was 13.
13.
Your typical liberal, everybody. Give it up for him. Thank you very much.
The government. No, I love it.
Thank you.
Can I have a hat? Can I have a hat?
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Charlie. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for letting me speak. I'm studying abroad from Italy for this semester. Sorry? Yeah, from Roma. I've seen your videos online and I really respect what you are doing here. I have a question because in Europe we are facing the same problem with illegal immigration. And what are your stance on illegal families who came here many years ago and now are working and paying taxes in your country?
Every person who has come here illegally must be returned to their country of origin.
And I completely agree with you. I'm here to say something. I really like the speech that J.D. Vance did in Munich after the terrorist attack.
Do we like J.D. Vance, everybody? Isn't J.D. great?
Well, I'm not American, but I like him too. If I were American, I would have voted for him. However, in Europe, we are having a big problem with illegal immigration. People are coming, they don't respect our laws, they're raping women, stabbing. It's dangerous to go around. So I don't understand when people come here to talk to you, liberals and Democrats, saying that they want to welcome them, because you don't know who is entering in your country.
Amen. And I'll tell you, we need more legal immigrants like you in this country. I'll tell you what.
And it makes me upset that for me it's difficult. I'm respecting the law. I'm here. If I have to be here legally, I'm gonna go back to Italy because I cannot work, and it makes me upset seeing someone that comes here illegally and does whatever he wants. That's it.
God bless you. You want a hat?
If I can have a white one, because I already have
a white one. All right.
red.
Make Italy great again. Okay. Very good.
I wish. Can I shake your hand? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Charlie. I'm a senior in high school named Trevor, and I want to start off by saying thank you for coming to this beautiful city of San Diego. I just want to get your quick thoughts on two very specific topics. One being the photo of Kilmar Garcia's hand that Trump held up, and him advocating in an interview the other day with Terry Moran about it not being photoshopped in any way. I want to get your thoughts on that.
It wasn't photoshopped. It was labeled.
Right, but he didn't say that. He said that the literal letters and numbers MS-13 were on.
No, they are. I mean, I have the picture here.
Yeah, it's Photoshop. There's
No, it's not. That's called labeling, not photoshopping.
Right. I agree that he labeled it, but Trump was saying that they were on there. He kept going on and on about it for 2 minutes.
I don't know the point of what you're making. The iconography, I can look it up.
Right.
Literally means MS-13.
I completely agree that those logos were on each of his knuckles. I'm saying that the letters MS and the numbers 13 were not on there, but in the photo that Trump held up, they were, and he advocates that they were, like, on his hand, not that they were labels.
I don't know what you're talking about, but sure. What's your next contention?
Okay, and then I want to just get 2 things that you disagree with Trump that he's done in his current presidency.
Canada should not be the 51st state.
Okay.
And I think, not even a disagreement, I think we should have caution to try to go to war with Iran.
Okay.
We should be very careful about bombing the Houthis and getting closer to a war with Iran.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Thank you. You want?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes. Who's up? All right,
How
here
we doing, Mr. Kirk? Yeah, hi. This is, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm going to be like a debate king here. You know, you have 10 years of experience on me. And I had a quick question, though, about on abortion, if that's okay with you. Right? So I think when we talk about abortion, I think we really get into this idea of like when we should assign personhood, right? So you clearly believe that life begins at conception, and I think it would be better if we shift that metric to a more based on sentience. And I believe that and the question I have for you is that since you believe that life begins at birth, let's say we have a person that's grown to old age and they have died and they have absolutely showing no brain activity at all. Would you believe that shooting that person, that dead person, is the equivalent of like a human life?
Yeah, I mean, it is a human life, but those are 2 totally separate things. One is no more, and the other one's not yet.
Right.
So not yet is different than no more. If someone's at the end of their life and there's nothing more we can do to continue their life, that is a different moral conversation than someone that has not yet been completely grown as a human as you and I. 2 totally different moral circumstances, so you can't conflate the 2.
Right. But I think they both have the same problem where it's about the presence of consciousness, right? Then
no, it's not a problem. One, the consciousness will come. One will not. That's
right.
So they're 2 separate things. One has potentiality.
Yeah.
One does not. So you can't conflate the 2
right,
together.
But okay, let's say let me use a different analogy then. Let's say I have a blueprint to a building, right? And I have the materials for the building, and you destroy those materials. The materials of the building isn't the building in itself. Can we both agree that there's a difference between those 2?
Is the building building itself in real time and it's currently being constructed and it's going up?
No,
up,
but
up?
it still doesn't really matter because they're still adding value to the fact that we're creating the
bad
building.
analogy.
Right?
A blueprint.
How's that
because the blueprint not itself is not the building.
Right, exactly.
No,
so
I'm
if
saying,
you were to
a human being's DNA is not
we
just
agree on that though.
No,
that the
it's
blueprint
not.
is not the building, so there's probably different moral qualifications.
No,
right?
they're not. I'm saying though that the baby is the building. So you're incorrect.
Okay, so
the building is following the blueprint.
So when you're looking at like I don't know, like a fertilized egg, you're telling me a picture of this fertilized egg is the equivalent of a human life right now. No, the exact
What's
same
the
thing.
difference?
The different stage of development.
No. So why should stage of development give you more rights?
Well, I mean, okay, you're acting like this is not something this is done in society. Like, for example, we do judge based on different stages of development, like in cognitive capabilities, right? I'm not letting a fetus drive a car. A fetus can't drive.
No, right to life.
Alcohol and whatnot.
Apply the right to life to your stage of development.
This is a little bit different. So I guess a different question I would have to ask you is why I'm assuming your 2 qualifications here are the fact that it can create, it's a unique cellular organism, right, that has the potential to live,
and it's
right?
human, which is inherently has dignity.
So I guess then this brings on the question, because I know there's another scenario where this occurs, right, where fertilization of an egg occurs, and they're on track to development, correct? And this other example that I'll think of is like animals, right? I think why do we not give the same moral consideration to animals as we are to zygotes in this situation?
Because animals aren't human beings.
Okay, but why is human beings?
Human beings have a soul and animals do not.
Have a soul. So levels. So this is my point, guys.
Soul is not just consciousness.
Is a conscious experience.
No, it's not.
You are
Let me prove it to
engaging
you.
in
Wrong.
This is dishonest. This is dishonest, though.
Let me prove it to you. When someone is quote unquote brain
Okay.
dead, do you know that they still respond if someone stabs them? Their norepinephrine goes up. Do you know that a woman still menstruates if she's brain dead? So consciousness is not human worth. There's something else going on beyond consciousness that exists in a being that is the soul.
Okay, so now we're getting into a conversation of what the difference between the soul and a consciousness is. And
No, they're totally different. The soul is the something beyond consciousness is your narration to yourself,
Okay.
the ability to reason. There's something above reason. All of us know what that is when it kicks in. You ever hear the expression, words can't describe, I am speechless? You know why? Speech is reason. When you see
Okay.
a sunset that takes your breath away, when you see a newborn life that is born, you don't even have the
Right,
words to
right,
express it
right.
because it transcends your
I
reason.
agree with that.
That is your soul.
So I mean that's a good point. Like when we give, what you just labeled there is like when a child is given born, when they're born, we give such moral significance to that, not the fact that like they got infertilized by an egg. I don't want to celebrate. I want to sort of like I'd rather celebrate my birthday rather than like the day my parents had sex. That's kind of a little weird situation. You know what I mean? Like if life begins at conception.
Well, it's called your birthday for a reason,
Right,
but you were a living being, not
It seems that like society
you
kind
were
of
9 months prior.
gravitates to this idea of like an actual human being existing that
Oh,
gives
no,
moral
that's-
value, right?
One is your entrance to the world. The other one
Right.
is the actual creation of your being. Two different
Right.
things. Your birthday is when you entered the world.
Right,
For
right.
example, your birthday could be at 28 weeks, not 36
Okay.
weeks. So everybody has a different day when you exit the womb, but it's
Okay.
not when your worth begins. That's not when your value begins. That's simply when you exit the womb.
Right. So I have a good question. I really want to get back to this idea of like you give more moral value to the level of the fact that like that humans that are developed have a soul in comparison to like a zygote that, or actually no, animals
or a
animals, is
coyote.
that- Okay, so is that not the same comparison to like a zygote to a developed human being in the sense that we are a higher functioning conscious being in comparison to like this other thing that we can just actively kill whenever
It doesn't
we want?
matter. I
Why
mean,
does it
can you
not matter,
actively
though?
kill a 1-year-old? Doesn't have as much acuity as you do or consciousness.
Right, yeah, but like I mean,
Can
that's
you?
not the,
Can
that's
you
not-
kill a
that's not the-
1-year-old?
That's the same thing because like this is
Of
like going
course, the
back to
same
my
thing.
like
What's the
idea of
difference in a
sentience,
1-year-old
right?
and a 1-day-old zygote? What's the moral difference?
The level of consciousness.
Oh,
right?
so one's bigger. One's more developed. One's older.
lots more
the
developed. No,
consciousness
no.
is completely
Sure,
irrelevant.
sure.
Because
How is
just
it
you know that
irrelevant?
a 1-day-old out of the womb doesn't have a lot of consciousness at all.
Okay, sure,
It
that's
can't
fine.
speak. It can't really. It's kind of
Right.
like disembobulated.
But that's-
you don't get less rights for that.
No, I agree. I mean, like, well, to a certain degree, I agree with that. But like, there is a meaningful difference between a fertilized egg and a conscious
What is
human
it?
being. One is less conscious than the other.
Oh no, well, one has more skills. But like, what's the innate moral difference? And prove it to me.
Because it seems like we do give restrict rights, and we do actually change rights based on development and consciousness.
No,
and
about
cognitive
life.
experience,
So
right?
like a 4-year-old.
Right.
What is the innate moral difference of a 4-year-old and a zygote?
One is more conscious.
Okay, got it. So I think that's irrelevant. I think they're both human beings deserving of protection. Consciousness alone is not a marker of dignity.
Okay, but so then what is your marker of dignity? Is
Being
that
a
because-
human being.
Being a human being. So is your argument a little bit circular though? There, it's just like it's
No,
just
it's not.
because we deserve rights because we're a human being.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's self-evident. We are human beings with a soul, therefore we have rights.
We deserve rights because we're human beings because we're human beings. So like, how am I supposed to win against this argument here?
You can't.
See, okay, yeah, exactly. So it's
Because
inherently
it's called a
okay.
self-evident truth.
So like,
It's
yeah.
called self-evident. So that's why the pro-life position is irrefutable.
But
is
so
that
then-
because you have to posit human
Right,
beings have rights.
and that's and is not a kind of a concern that like we base all our entire ideology on this one illogical circle that.
No,
that
it's not
goes back and
illogical.
forth?
It's incredibly
Yeah, right.
logical.
So like,
we are human beings,
what I'm
and we
interested
believe
in
that
is
they
that,
matter.
Like, if you were to remove this circle here, then you would have to actually be pro-life in the sense of be pro-life to all life.
Oh, we are.
Right, so
No, no,
pro-life
no,
to
no,
like
but no,
animals,
but no,
and kind of, you know.
but we don't
saying-
believe
I'm-
human
look,
beings
I'm
are-
not like a vegan or anything. I'm not vegetarian.
But human beings
I
are not the
think
moral
this-
same
if you
as
were-
a bird. It's not the same thing. For multiple reasons. Because a human being has characteristics and qualities, and most importantly, we believe as Christians, human beings have a soul that a bird does not have.
Okay, so characteristics and qualities.
And only,
like,
let me interrupt one more.
Sorry,
The West,
no
whether
problem.
you agree or not, sorry to interrupt, we believe the human being is the only thing made in the image of the Creator, Imago Dei.
Okay, so when you say characteristics and qualities, what does that mean to me? What does that mean to me?
Well, first of all,
Differentiate.
not just the ability to reason, but
Okay.
also the ability to sympathize, empathize,
Okay.
feel, predict, plan,
Yeah.
conjecture, to have
Right.
mercy, forgiveness,
Okay.
to be able to be
All beautiful
introspective.
things. I love that. I love that about us human beings.
Oh no, I know.
I'm not being sarcastic. This
No,
is-
but
it's a good
we
point.
human beings
Yeah.
are exceptional, actually. I mean,
Right.
versus the beasts of the wild, of which
Right.
we should appreciate and adore. But again, more beyond that, we come after this from a soft religious view, because you don't have to be Christian to believe this.
Right, right.
That the human being has innate, inherent, embedded, let's just say, dignity
Okay.
that a fox does not.
Right. Yeah. So what you just did there is kind of like my argument here. You're saying that like because we are human, we are more developed, we have higher cognitive reasoning, we're able to sympathize, emotion, and reason, do all these
And the
great
soul.
things. Right. But the thing is, well, I guess that's a religious belief though.
Well,
In
that's
my
an
belief
interesting
system,
question.
I think that consciousness is the soul.
And
if that makes sense.
that's where why if you don't believe in God, it's easy to go want to murder a bunch of people. And I'm not criticizing you.
Right,
it goes
right,
back to
right.
just a common theme here. If you believe in God, every human being has dignity.
Well, you're kind of intuition pumping there about saying if it's murder because we haven't really discussed. We haven't even agreed on.
I mean,
whether
but look,
is
of course,
a human being
if
worth
it's a human being
considering,
and the elimination of human life is murder, but that's
Right.
fine. We're
Okay.
just. This is why it's very hard to change people that
Okay.
don't believe in God to be pro-life, because you don't necessarily believe that human life is necessarily special.
No, I mean I do.
But you might
believe
think it's
human
like
life is
unique
very
and it's
special,
like
right?
interesting.
It is
but
unique
you
experience,
don't
right?
believe it's made in the image of a creator.
Okay, yeah,
And that's fine. And that's why we tend to be the pro-life champions, and those that don't believe in God don't. And that's okay.
Okay.
It's just that clarity is important for the audience.
Okay, so I guess we can keep going back and forth. I'm sure you got a whole lot, and we'll
It's
give it
fine.
to
No,
more people.
you-
But I do.
you've been great.
I do want to have a good question with you. A question about that I want to leave off on is. So it seems like I think you're pretty set in stone in this position, and I would like to ask, what would I have to do or prove to show you in order to convince you that pro-life isn't the answer that society should be seeking for?
I mean, it would be an impossibility. You have to prove to me God doesn't exist.
Okay, so then we can agree that like this is just a moral issue that you're appealing to a book.
Of course. I mean,
and-
all
okay.
moral issues appeal to an authority, obviously.
Okay.
Why is murder wrong?
I mean, because the reason if you want to talk about morality, we can talk about morality too.
Abortion is a moral issue. Of course it is.
Yeah.
But
the reason why
our
I
whole
think-
conversation is
I
laced
think-
with morality.
But in order to kind of like reduct it to like a textbook or a book or a specific like
Well,
thing, a
why?
strand of
Where do you
truth,
get your
right?
morality from?
Well, I think morality should be based on like what is the best choice of action to help society progress.
Okay,
if that makes any sense.
okay, got it. What
Right.
if society agrees we should kill the dumb people?
Well, probably not the best.
Well, but why?
Well, the thing is, it's
Or
just
how
not,
about- how
well,
about
the
this?
thing is,
We should abort-
pragmatically that doesn't work out. Because
Yes,
if
it
we kill
does.
the
In Iceland, it's mandatory to abort Down syndrome babies.
Okay.
It's it's best, right? Down syndrome people are a strain on society. Why do you say it's wrong?
I mean, because there's some degree of like we should protect some people.
Why? By what standard? Why are you appealing to? I appeal to a book. What do you appeal to?
The thing is, I think like there's still some value to
Why?
people
What
to
standard?
that
Is
have,
that your
like-
opinion, or is there something transcendent telling you that?
No, there's something transcendent because like there is some sacredity to life, and that's what I agree with. I agree that life is
Why?
sacred. That's why I would agree that if you adopted a more broader pro-life stance, I think I would be more on side of that. Like if you want to have a society where we're forcing women to breed and pump out children, then I would say you would have to create that society where like it is more able for them to do that, and in addition to not be indiscriminate between life. So I think
All right.
I would
Got
agree
it.
with that sentiment, right?
Thank you for your time. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
sorry, yeah.
Thank
can I
you.
get a hat?
Yeah, I'll give you a hat. Thank you.
Hey. Charlie. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Can you sign it? Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate you.
Charlie, can I please get a white hat?
Don't ask a question.
Okay, who's up?
Can I ask a question?
You sure you don't want to give these guys a little chance to... Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you. All right, so we're talking objective truths here, right, Charlie? Okay, so thing is, here's an objective truth. Every single policy the Republicans claim they're for, they've basically done the opposite of, right? Every time you repeal a piece of abortion legislature, the coat hanger business gains a few new customers, right? And even after they're born, you guys don't give as much of a crap about them after they're out of the womb, right? You don't want to pay
That's
for
not true. Why would you say that?
Because you guys have an active war against education. You guys have an
Hold on,
active
time
war
out, time
against
out.
free lunch.
Hold on, just
Come
because
on.
you don't want to throw government money at something doesn't mean you don't care about them. Time out. We want to have more police, so safer streets, so kids don't get killed in crossfire,
I agree, sure.
gang shootings. We want to have a secure southern border so that hundreds of thousands of girls are not sold into sex slavery every single year. We want school choice so that kids can have a better education. We actually want a balanced budget so the U.S. dollar will be around for future generations. I reject this whole thing that, oh, you guys are only pro-life at birth. No, every policy that we have is rooted in a pro-life position.
Okay, all right. So let's move a little bit on from that. I'm not saying I've lost yet, because a woman did kill her own child literally like a couple of days ago. On day of birth, 60 years in prison, as she should have. But like that is a abortion problem. She was raped. But
yeah, I know, but
let's
hold
move.
on. But
Okay.
if she would have killed the baby while it was in the womb, it would have been okay. So why was it wrong to kill the baby outside the womb?
Because the baby could cry.
Oh, the baby can't cry in a womb.
Okay.
No,
you
no.
want to talk about?
No. You brought it up. Why is it? Why is it bad to slit the throat of a baby once it's born, but okay to slit the throat of the baby that's in the womb?
Less cells, just straight up less cells. I would
one
say
day difference. One day
if you count the
difference.
cells, less cells, right?
Wait, so the amount of cells you have dictate your moral worth? I have more.
I do not want to get into this moral thing.
No, you already did.
Okay,
Hold
then
on.
we will.
I have more.
Would you go into a crowd of black people and say the N-word? Would you? If there's no moral covenant against that, would you go? If I gave you $500 right now, would you? Would you?
No.
Would you say it?
No.
What's stopping you?
I mean,
what's stopping
honestly,
you? What line in the Bible is going to stop you going up to a group of guys going, hey, fellas, mind if I say a word? Mind if I speak my piece? No.
You say the word?
Because I have a different set of morals. I say that's just wrong.
By what moral is that wrong?
By morals of around find out. I'm going to get my jumped. I will get this out of me. This presumptuous. I don't know about you, but any kind of argument that there's an objective morality that doesn't depend.
Was Hitler objectively evil?
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree.
Amount of cells, gone. Biomass, that's kind of.
So wait, so does someone who's older have moral rights than a 4-year-old because they have more cells?
Depends on the person.
Okay.
Listen, mine makes right? I got more inches on that guy, I could probably jump him. I mean, like, if... Listen, not to start a fight. I have no offense. I didn't even point at a person. What, did I point at you? I'm sorry if I did. I'd lose against him. If I was pointing at him, I would lose. But, okay. Here's what I actually want to talk about, okay? We've gone a little sidetracked. That was my preamble. Hey, listen. All right? I want to talk to you about DEI, right? Because I have a feeling that I'm a white man, right?
You are?
I would say I am, right? I would say I'm a white guy. I may be entirely Chinese, but what even is a white guy, right? Throughout history, right? Irish people and Polish people were not considered white people. Then you're going to say in 17 blah, 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 they technically were counted. Right now, you look at the books, Arabic people are called
What's the
white
question?
people.
We got a long line.
Do you disagree with the fact that I'm white?
I mean, look, I don't know what you are. You don't look very white to me, but I mean, like, not.
You don't look very white to me either. I mean,
I'm like the whitest person you'll ever meet.
I'm a phrenologist, right?
Actually.
I'm a phrenologist. I'm paler than you are. Look at me.
Okay, great.
Look at me, okay? So, I don't think there's a physical objective quality that defines being a white guy, I think, right? Because if you look at the book, it's not a country of origin. There's no country of origin for white people. It's like saying Asian people are one race.
Caucasian is the better term, but...
Well,
I would prefer not to talk about race all the time, but yeah.
Well, all right. Then what's the problem with, like, let's say a Mexican?
There's no problem
with problem with Mexicans? Then what was your beef against Kilmar Abrego Garcia? He was in court for different reasons. And then
what's my beef with a wife-beating, child-abusing gang member here illegally? I don't know, the fact that he's a wife-beating, child-abusing gang member here illegally, that's my beef with him.
Okay.
And he's from El Salvador, not Mexico. Racist, get that right?
Oh, my bad. Who's doing it now, dude? Hey, wait a second.
All right, thank you very much.
Hold
Next,
on.
thank you.
All right, one last thing. Anyone want this hat? Take that get off my campus.
No, I'll be here for another hour and a half. He's going to go and tell his friends, I own Charlie Kirk.
He probably is, man. He probably is. Hey,
you're eager beaver.
I am, man, because I have a midterm soon, but I wanted to talk to you real quick because honestly, man, I'm a moderate, so I disagree with you on a lot of issues, but I also agree with you on a lot of issues, and I'm so glad you've come to this campus, and so I want to say welcome to this campus, man. Welcome to this campus. Thank you for educating everybody. But one thing that we don't talk about often, especially as Republicans, and again, I'm a moderate. Sometimes this past election, I was Republican, but we don't talk about social mobility a lot. We don't talk about like the debt to GDP ratio. Trump, his tax cuts and jobs plan, man, it's really like it's not decreasing our deficit at all. And we're at the highest rates we've ever been at since World War II. We're literally going to surpass, 100% debt to GDP ratio. And there's no plan, at least under the Obama plan, we were going to raise like $650 billion over the next 10 years, which I know isn't enough. But I mean, come on, we've got to do something about that. And like, what's the deal with that?
We need more spending cuts. I mean, we don't know yet what the plan is going to look like, but I hope we have spending cuts across the board. I mean, I agree with you. We need to balance our budget. It's a major threat to our country.
Well, the big thing is too, man. I mean, I'm an older student, right? I'm clearly not 19 anymore, or at least Maybe you think so, but whatever. It took me a while to get here, man. It took me a while to get to college. I got on a med school shirt. I actually switched to economics because I hope I can get in rooms with guys like you one day and have these discussions. But look, man, it took me forever to get here. It took me forever to get to college. And the only reason that I'm here today is because I had to move from a Republican state to such a liberal state like California so that I could actually get an education because it was completely unaffordable. And we just don't address that. We just don't address it.
What state are you from?
I'm originally from Georgia. And I know it swings back and forth, but still, I mean, there's just no opportunities there, man. I mean, I tried my hardest my whole life, man. Believe me, I work and I work and I work and I pound and I save, but there are no opportunities.
I would just push back a little bit, though. I mean, a lot more people are leaving California than coming into California. Like
I understand but those are wealthy people that are leaving.
No, that's not true. No, a lot of working middle class people are leaving this state. The opportunities are in states like Texas and Arizona and Florida, and increasingly not here in this state.
But the opportunity for social mobility is here. I mean, for instance, for me to get to the first, for me to be in the first quartile of my income and to make it all the way up to the fifth, for me to, be working my butt off, making a $40,000.
You're very unusual to say that because California has the highest housing prices in the country.
Yeah.
The highest cost of living,
Correct.
The most homelessness. So you're very unusual to say that the social mobility is good here in California because it's not.
It's because people don't take advantage of it. But I mean, I came here specifically to take advantage of it because I can see the system here, and I mean, just saying, it works for people who actually use it. So I just think we should.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time. All right. Yes. Is that a SpaceX shirt? Looks like it. Yeah.
Hey, Charlie. Thank you for everything you do. You're one of the reasons I started going to the church this year. My first question is, with the population crisis going on, how can abortion not be justified when the baby will not be able to reproduce, such as a baby with Down syndrome? Defend your abortion stance if the result will be less humans in the following generation.
Okay, so are you asking me as a hypothetical, or can you restate that, please?
So with the population crisis going on,
Collapse, yeah.
Collapse, exactly. How can abortion not be justified when the baby, such as someone who has Down syndrome, will not be able to reproduce for the following generation?
Oh yeah, I mean, look. Oh, you're talking about abortion for Down syndrome.
Or anyone who will not be
a Down
able to
syndrome
reproduce.
baby has dignity regardless of its capacity to not produce. If you find out that, do people that have infertility problems, do they not get human rights? Right? I mean, so if someone can't reproduce, that doesn't mean they shouldn't be allowed to live.
Got it. Next question is, with the rise in Bible sales and church attendance, as someone who didn't grow up with religion, what advice would you give to someone who's trying to welcome religion into their life and find their faith?
I love that question. Read your Bible every single day. Fight your flesh. Your flesh is going to want to do easy and immediate things like drink and go out and do stuff. Find difficult and hard stuff and find your aim as a man and point everything you can towards it. And spread the good news of God and Jesus Christ in every possible way that you can, and put Jesus first in everything that you do.
Awesome. Thank you. Can I shake your hand?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, man. God bless you. Yes, thank you. You got to sign one. Thank you. Who's up? Yeah. You guys already have one. These people. All right, here we go. Yes.
I don't. What? I don't believe that we could use Christianity as. I don't believe that we could use Christianity as a good moral basis for certain laws, considering that historically speaking, Christianity has committed many atrocities. I mean, the Christian Crusades killed many people, and they destroyed a lot of our written texts that didn't agree with Christian points, like, for example, the works of Sappho.
The works of what?
Sappho.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, anyways, I don't. And also, I understand that this is Catholicism, but also the schools in Canada that abused many Native American people. I just don't see how we could argue that Christianity is the great moral authority that you're saying it is for making these laws when arguably they've done a lot of horrible things.
What moral code do you live by?
I'm a Buddhist, so I mean...
So it's all about yourself?
No, it's just about being... Well, I guess you could say that. But
I know,
think
yeah,
it's
I know Buddhism. So let's play it out. What is the top accomplishment of a Buddhist?
I guess just to be a good person and...
No, to reach nirvana, you know that.
Well, yes, but not everyone can reach nirvana.
I know, but you want to try to
possible.
ascend, right? And so it's all about yourself, all inward looking, right? To try to limit your touch with the outside world, that the outside world is dirty and it's, you know, it's kind of polluted.
I don't believe as a Buddhist, that's not how I was taught, and I don't think it's fair for you to argue for Buddhism in that sense because
no, that's
you're
what
not
Buddhism,
a Buddhist.
No, I know plenty about Buddhism. Like, so Buddhism, as it's written, is that the world is contaminated. We must remove ourselves from the world, and we're going to spiritually ascend ourselves by meditation.
But there's people who don't believe in that.
Well, then you don't
There's
believe in
different
Buddhism. That's fine.
sects
It's okay.
Of Buddhism, and they believe in all different kinds of things.
So
just
that's
as
fine.
There's different sects
So
of
can you-
Christianity. I'm just not in that sect.
Got it. So can you what moral way do you think society should live by? Not Christianity. So what way should we live by?
I think that it's not as much about morality as much as societal, and it's just societal needs. Like, for example, like abortion. We can't argue that, you know, Christianity is the reason that we should not allow abortions when clearly there's both a medical and a societal need for abortion.
There's not a medical reason to kill babies, right? So that doesn't exist.
Okay,
But
I have one example for that. My mother had vasoprevia, and they had offered her an abortion because birthing the baby would not only kill her, and, like, if she went into labor, because the placenta had split into many little veins and covered her birth canal, if she ever went into labor, and my little brother at the time, if he had pushed on the birth canal to exit her, she would have died. Both her and her son would have died.
Did your brother survive or no?
I want to continue with this point. So she was offered the opportunity for an abortion because not only was she the main breadwinner of her family, but she is also raising 2 kids as well already. The right to an abortion is possibly could have saved her life. She did end up surviving, but not. I don't think that we should limit the ability to get an abortion to other women in her situation.
Wait, hold on, time out. So your brother you know now?
Huh?
Is your brother survive or no?
Yes, he did.
Wait, so aren't you glad your brother wasn't aborted? I mean, come on.
I don't.
What kind of argument is that? Aren't you glad your brother's not dead?
It's not that. I'm glad that he wasn't aborted.
Yes,
but
so that's
also,
so we're
like,
pro-life. That's what we want. We don't want your brother to be aborted. Imagine how many millions other like him are aborted.
Yes, but if my mom died,
She didn't. It's not even a good argument.
Well, there's so many people that did.
No,
There's,
that's not correct. I said that earlier. It only happens a couple dozen times a year, and the baby could be delivered by C-section.
People with vasoprevia have a much higher rate of death than other women
Yes,
who are
this
pregnant.
happens maybe a couple hundred times a year, and there's 1.5 million abortions every single year. This is on the extreme of the extreme.
If we have to take away abortions, then we're taking away from everybody, even the people who have a medical need for abortion, where the baby is going to kill them if they come out.
Again, I can grant you that, fine, we'll have those exceptions. Can we make abortion illegal for the other circumstances?
No, because
so maybe it's not about those circumstances.
No,
You're
it
just
is about
using
those,
it.
It is about those circumstances, because when we take away those rights from everyone and we go into a hospital and there's an emergency need to remove a baby, then we have to prove that there's an actual emergency need instead of just it being an automatic right. Then doctors aren't going to be
You don't have a right
willing
to murder another human being.
It's not necessarily a right. It's just the ability to.
So when your brother was in your mom's womb, was your brother a human being?
I mean, I don't want to argue that. I think that we could argue about that
it's not an
for
argument,
a
it's a
long
question.
Time.
When your
I don't
brother
think
was
it's
in
useful.
When your brother was in the womb, was it a human being?
I believe that on my moral compass, I believe that he was, but I don't think that my moral compass should dictate the medical needs and the societal needs of others.
Fine. What moral compass should we use to write laws then?
Not necessarily a single one. I think that everyone's moral compass is different, and
which
that
one
we should
wins?
be able to.
Which one should say, let's for
the
example.
one that supports women the most, the one that allows women to get medical.
Why is that? Why is that good? I mean, by what book do you reference? By some moral standard you're appealing to. What is it?
Sorry, what?
No, yeah. By what moral standard do you say that we should have health care for women? Why? What? At some point, you're basing this on something. What is it?
I think that it's not even a moral standard. It's in the
is.
Constitution. Women should have equal rights, and that includes the right to.
You do not have a right to
choice.
murder another because life is the first right. We've been through that. But I'm saying, but at some point, you say you don't want Christianity to have the moral source. So I ask you, by what moral code should we live by?
Well, I don't think there's a defining moral code that we should live by. We all
Of course
have
there is.
different-
Should we help the sick?
Well, yes,
Should we help
but
the poor?
there's okay, but my
Should
moral
we
code
feed the
as
hungry?
a Buddhist is that I should never kill an animal. And many Christians hunt. Many people, kill animals for a living.